We are officially in NFL draft season, and it is in full swing. So today, I'm going to be reacting to a lot of the most recent NFL mock drafts that have been released with some of the biggest publications in NFL draft media. I'm going to let you know who they have the Steelers taking in round one of the 2024 NFL draft. But before we get things going, do me a favor. Click that thumbs up icon if you guys want to do a fan-led mock draft right here on Steelers Talk next week on our live show, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. If you want to see that on the show, you want to do a fan-led mock, make sure you click that thumbs up icon for me right now. So let's start with the godfather of the NFL draft himself, Mr. Mel Kiper Jr., and he has the Steelers taking at number 20 overall, cornerback from Clemson, Nate Wiggins. Now, Wiggins is one of my favorite corners in this entire draft class. He's long. He's got incredible recovery speed. I think in a normal draft, he'd probably be a top 15 guy, but because it's so loaded in so many different position groups this year, there's definitely a possibility Wiggins could fall to the Steelers at number 20. This is what Mel has to say about the Clemson Tiger corner. I went corner in my mock draft 1.0, and I don't see a reason to change, though the Steelers just cut starting center Mason Cole, and we'll have to replace him. Wiggins could pair a formidable pairing with Joey Porter Jr., who came on in the second half of last season. Wiggins allowed just 4.2 yards per attempt as the nearest defender in coverage last year, taking a leap forward from 2022 when he allowed 6.1. At 6'2", 185 pounds, he has a great blend of size and speed. With 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a sack, he showed up all over the Tigers' 2023 tape. And listen, I completely agree with Mel here. Wiggins is a phenomenal prospect. Maybe a little bit undersized at 185 pounds. Maybe want to be a little bit closer to 200. But that's the only knock on him, man. He plays with super sticky in coverage. He plays with great instincts. He's a willing tackler, and he's got the great recovery speed matched with those long arms. Exactly what you're looking for. And by the way, it's exactly what attracted the Steelers to Joey Porter Jr. So my prediction here when it comes to cornerback, though, is I think the Steelers are going to be focusing on corner in free agency because they already have their stud number 1 corner on the outside in Joey Porter Jr. So I think they're going to get a solid number 2 option in free agency, and they're going to wait and see what they have in Corey Trice Jr. Now, that doesn't mean they won't take a corner at some point during the draft. I'm sure they probably will, but I'm not sure it's going to be at the very top of their list. If I would have to guess right now, I think it's going to be offensive line, whether it be tackle or center, heading into round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft. Now, what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments. Will the Steelers go corner or offensive line in round 1? I think they're going to go offensive line at this point. But let me know what you guys think. Type CB for corner or OL for offensive line. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then we get to the Ringer's latest mock draft here where they have the Steelers taking Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback out of Washington. Very interesting pick here because they're assuming that they're going to keep Kenny Pickett. They're not going to trade for Justin Fields. They're not going to sign Russell Wilson. And Michael Penix Jr. is going to be sitting there for them at number 20, and the Steelers are going to take him. That's a lot of ifs right there if you ask me. Well, this is what the Ringer has to say about Penix to the Steelers. Penix will be a polarizing figure in this draft, and some will view this as a reach, but the former Washington star brings a quick, decisive style and an aggressive mentality to push the ball downfield to create explosive plays. Variables that differentiate him from what the team has gotten from Pickett. This is a bet that Penix can unlock the team's playmakers and get this offense out of its rut. Now, when it comes to my scouting report on Penix here, the arm strength is for real. The deep ball is arguably the best in the class this year, and that's saying something because you got Caleb Williams and Drake May and Jaden Daniels all in this class. Michael Penix Jr., supreme accuracy, and he can really sling that thing. And then he also has NFL-level mental processing. You go from 2 to 3 to 4 progressions across the formation. He's got an NFL mind, and I really think at the Combine this week, he's going to be impressing some people. However, the cons, that knee has been completely shredded throughout his time in college. that really limits his mobility. And then the pocket presence is definitely shaky on his college film. I do think with the right fit, he is worth a first-round pick. That's where I'm at with him. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm not taking a quarterback in round one. Whether you keep Kenny Pickett or whether you actually go out and get a Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, I'm not sure if the Steelers see really any value in getting a quarterback in round one. If you're sticking with Kenny Pickett, you feel like he is your guy at least heading into 2024. If you get Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, those guys are going to be your guy at the quarterback position. So I don't understand why so many mock drafts have the Steelers taking quarterbacks in round one. Now, if Penix falls to them in round two, maybe that's a different story depending on what they do in free agency and what they get in round one. But I really don't see Penix falling that far because of the film. I think he's got actually really good film. But at the end of the day, man, I just don't really understand why people keep connecting Steelers to quarterbacks in round one when they're probably not going to take one. I actually go in depth on Michael Penix Jr. on a video we put out earlier on the channel. I'm going to put the link to that one in the comments and description. So if you're curious about the pros, cons, and pro comps of Michael Penix Jr. as he enters his rookie season, you guys can check that out on the channel right after today's show. All right, so now we got more stuff coming your way here, more mock drafts to talk about. But first, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon for me real quick if you haven't already. The YouTube algorithm pushes videos out to other Steelers fans like yourselves, the more likes we get on this video. So I'd really appreciate it. If you're feeling generous today, you want to help out the channel, click that thumbs up icon right now. Now we get to the nuttiest mock draft of the day, where CBS Sports has the Pittsburgh Steelers trading up to number 9 overall to take Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Are you fucking joking me, guys? Unbelievable. Tom Fornelli from CBS put out this mock draft, and this was his reasoning. The Steelers realize Kenny Pickett isn't the answer and don't waste time trying to correct the situation. Arthur Smith is likely to bring a run-heavy offense that relies on play action and tight ends, and that sounds like the offense McCarthy ran at Michigan. McCarthy has a strong arm, diagnoses defenses quickly, and is a good enough athlete to regularly extend drives with his legs. He'd be a good fit here. Now listen, man, if the Pittsburgh Steelers trade up from number 20 to number 9 inside the top 10 to take J.J. McCarthy, I'm going to rip my freaking eyes out of their sockets. This would just be the worst trade Omar Khan has ever made in his career. And I haven't even seen the rest of his career. I would already know this would be the crowning jewel of the worst decisions he has ever made. Now, I like McCarthy a lot. Okay, I like McCarthy. But he's a late first round, second round quarterback. All right, I think top 10 is a reach for him. And these guys think the Steelers are trading up to get him. I mean, if he falls to number 20, that's one thing. But to give up additional draft capital, moving from 20 to 9, that's probably going to cost the Steelers their first-round pick in 2025. I'm saying no way to this, man. J.J. McCarthy, okay? There's some things to like about him. He's got some pocket presence, and he plays with good pocket footwork. All right, he's a plus athlete. I wouldn't say he's on the level of a Jaden Daniels or a Caleb Williams in that regard, but you know what? He can run, all right? And then you get the arm strength. It's a pretty decent arm. And then, of course, he's got the leadership intangibles that you look for. But there are a number of cons that you have to take into account here, which is he doesn't really throw with a lot of touch. That scares me. A lot of one-read quarterbacking on his film. He doesn't really get to his third and fourth progressions consistently on that Michigan film because everybody's open. And speaking of that Michigan situation, he barely had to throw the football, all right? They ran the ball constantly, and when they did throw the football, they were usually way up in the football game, and things were really, really easy for him. So I just don't think that J.J. McCarthy, he wasn't a guy in college that could take on an offense and carry an offense with his arm. How the hell are we supposed to expect him to do that with the Pittsburgh Steelers as a top 10 pick, and we're trading up for him and giving up our first-round draft pick in 2025 in order to do so? It doesn't make sense. I don't know where Tom Fornelli is getting this from. I don't know what the hell he's smoking, but I probably want some of it because, damn, that thing's nice, all right? That stuff is nice. And with all due respect to J.J. McCarthy, I do not want to trade up for him in the top 10 whatsoever, all right? If he gets to number 20 and they want to take him, whatever, all right? I won't like it, but at least I won't rip my eyes out. I will rip my eyes out. I said it right here on the show. I will eat my shoe if they trade up to number 9 for J.J. McCarthy. Let me know down there in the comment section. What would be your one-word reaction if Pittsburgh trades up to number 9 for J.J. McCarthy? Mine is just shoe. I'm eating my shoe if it happens because it's not happening, all right? So that's mine. Then we get to the last one of the day. Now we go back to Sane World now, and we get to Quinyon Mitchell from Pro Football Focus. Cornerback out of Toledo. This guy's one of my favorite prospects in the entire draft this year. Reminds me a lot of Devin Witherspoon when he was coming out of Illinois last year. Was fantastic at the Senior Bowl. This is what Trevor Sikkema has to say about the Toledo corner. The Steelers got a good one in Joey Porter Jr. at the top of the second round last year, but their investment in cornerbacks must continue. Mitchell was dominant at the Senior Bowl. He is scheme versatile and both skill and athleticism. He could easily be picked higher than this, but he will be high on Pittsburgh's board if he makes it this far. Now listen, like I said before, I don't think corner is going to be at the top of the Steelers list this year. I think it's probably going to be center or offensive tackle if I'd have to guess right now. But you know what, man? If they're taking corner and they get either Nate Wiggins or Quinyon Mitchell, I'm not complaining, man. These guys are excellent cornerback prospects. And if you put them on the other side of Joey Porter Jr. for the next decade, all I have to say to opposing offenses is good luck because these guys are going to be locking you down. So shout out your guy down there in the comment section. Who do you want the Steelers to take in round 1? Do you want a corner? Do you want a tackle? Do you want Jackson Powers-Johnson? Do you want to trade up for J.J. McCarthy? In that case, with all due respect, you're an idiot. Let me know down there in the comments section, who do you want the Steelers to take in round 1? That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. You can check me out at Jack_Sperry on X/Twitter for more Steelers content all throughout the offseason. I'm also one of the top NFL draft analysts here at Chat Sports, so I'm going to be putting a bunch of just general NFL draft stuff on there. So if you want to learn more about football, if you want to learn more about the Steelers, if you want to learn more about these NFL draft prospects, give me a follow on Twitter at Jack_Sperry.